Paymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Paymon Lata Heyday. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. 3 million Epstein files still not given to the American people by the U.S. Department of Justice in defiance of the law. What can you do about it? Well, let's go and look at the issue, because there is something you can do about this cover-up of the billionaires and powerful people that are abusing our girls. Okay, this, foreign intelligence blackmail network, okay? We're going to get to the solution, but let's go over the problem first. The Epstein Files Transparency Act. Here it is. What the law said was very simple. Not later than 30 days after the date of the enactment of this act, the Attorney General shall, make publicly available, in a searchable, downloadable format, all unclassified records, documents, everything relating to Jeffrey Epstein, anything about that, okay? Now, the law, as you can see here, says that within 15 days of completion of the release required under Section 2, Attorney General shall submit to the House and Senate Committee on Judiciary a report listing all categories of records released and withheld, and a summary of redactions made, including legal basis, very specific, detailed legal basis of why the whole thing's back. By the way, folks, my name is Paymon Montahede. I'm the president and founder of Freedom Law School, which I started in 1996. Freedom Law School website is where you want to go. I have not openly filed and paid any federal income taxes for over 30 years. All this hair was completely jet black, and I've been showing Americans like you to do the same legally, safely, again, at freedomlawschool.org. Let's continue. This act, as you see, was approved on November 19, 2025. Here we are right now in February of 2026, and they're still withholding 3 million pages. And a lot of stuff they're given has been blacked out or redacted in defiance of the law that was passed by only one vote in the entire Congress against it. One vote, and signed by President Trump. This is complete violation of the law knowingly by the DOJ. Here it is. The media is reporting about this U.S. Department of Justice releasing 3 million, but there is more that they have not released. That's right. So what can we do about all this? Well, let's look at who started doing something about it, okay? This is a Freedom Index of John Birch Society Congressional Scoreboard based on the U.S. Constitution. And the man here, you see that? Thomas Massie. He, along with Ro Khanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene, were the 3 people that got this law passed by Congress. As you see, Thomas Massie from Kentucky's 4th District, okay? He has constitutional vote score of 99% lifetime, okay, since he became a congressman in 2019. I mean, this guy is as constitutional as you can get out there. He's like a modern-day Ron Paul. Now, here's also Massie for King, okay? This question asked of him. Listen to this question be asked of him.
When will you change your party affiliation to Democrat?
I thought you did. I vote with Republicans 91% of the time. And the 9% I don't, they're taken up for pedophiles, starting another war, bankrupting our country.
Yep, that's right. Massie told them off good, didn't he, about what he is not a Democrat. He's for all the crookedness in Washington, D.C. So now you know the man, number one, behind the release of the Epstein files, the one guy that's consistently for your rights, your freedoms, and U.S. Constitution that protects your rights and limits the government's power over your life. He's been interviewed by Jimmy Dore, a great guy out there exposing what the Epstein file was going on. Okay, let's see what they got to say here.
You know what? I'm sure we disagree on lots of things also, you and I, but I don't ever have to worry about your opinion being bought. And I think we can have a reasonable discussion. And so I realized when Trump got elected in 2016, you know, my mother-in-law voted for Trump because of abortion. And they want me to hate my neighbor because of that. And I realized, well, I love my mother-in-law. She's a wonderful woman. I'm not going to hate people who voted different than me. And I realized the game real quick was that, oh, this is how they do it. They try to get one half the country looking at the other half of the country as their enemy instead of their neighbor. And my neighbor is not my enemy. And my neighbor is the person who's suffering under the same oligarchy and Zionist influence that I'm suffering under. And they want us to hate each other. So because if we realized we had more in common that divides us, we would come together because we have a common enemy. And that common enemy is the oligarchy. And they can't have that. So that's why you see all this stuff is happening. And, you know, there's more psyop. We live in one giant psyop is what I feel like. And
That's a great point. Imagine if they had convinced me and Ro Khanna that we hate each other so much that we couldn't work on the Epstein Files Transparency Act together.
Right.
But once we did, we had the biggest press conferences Washington, D.C. has seen in decades. And we did 2 of them with the survivors of the Epstein sex trafficking ring. And some of those survivors are Republicans, some are Democrat. They didn't care what our political affiliation was. And then when we got it to the floor, it was 427-1 in the House was the vote and 100-0 in the Senate. If they had convinced people this was a partisan exercise by the time it got to the floor, which is why I tried to keep it from being about Bill Clinton or about Donald Trump. That was part of the psyop. Let's make it about Bill Clinton. And then we can keep the Democrats afraid of the files. Let's make it about Donald Trump, and then we can keep the Republicans afraid of it. And then we can make the vote, 1 to 427 instead of 427 to 1 by getting both sides to hate each other or to hate this bill for political reasons. So you've got a great point. Maybe you don't need to vote. Maybe we don't need new people there. Maybe we just need to convince them they don't all hate each other as much as they're being told.
Now, let's see what goes on here with Trump. Here's what Trump says about Massey, who got the Epstein law, along with a couple of the congressmen I mentioned, passed. Okay, here we go. He says, people are saying that Thomas Massey became a liberal because his new wife. What? Huh? What do you mean liberal? Come on. He's as far away as communist socialist. He's a classical liberal like Thomas Jefferson, but not the communist, socialist liberal. Because his wife is supposedly a radical left flamethrower, whatever. This union all went so fast that maybe he didn't know what he was getting into, but nevertheless, he's an absolutely terrible and unreliable Republican. Really? Really? Wow, I'm surprised. Perhaps a rhino. That's the last guy you'd call a rhino. A real Republican is Thomas Massey. Everybody tries to be like him. Okay? Guts like him. Or maybe even worse, Ed Galerian, a farmer and war hero, is running against Massey. I mean, that's got to be the real rhino. He's a high-quality individual, and there's no candidate for Congress that could be better, right? Sure. He's running because he realizes Thomas Massey has been totally disloyal to the President of the United States and the Republican Party. What the heck? What do you mean disloyal to the Republican Party and President? Thomas Massey works for the people in his constituents in Kentucky, you, the American people, and his oath to uphold and defend your rights per the U.S. Constitution of the United States, not the president or a party. Okay? He never votes for us. Well, he shouldn't. He should vote for the people. Okay? And the constitutional way, as he does. Okay? He always goes with Democrats. No, he doesn't. That's not true. Thomas Massey is a complete and total disaster. We must make sure he loses big. Man, such a disappointment in Trump. So many of us had hopes for Trump. Yep, really did. But look, he's going against the best congressman in America that everybody should be like, talking to him trash like them. Well, here's Massey's response. So now he's attacking my wife who voted for him 3 times, calling her liberal. Maybe someone told him she's actually the one who suggested I ask Pam Bondi in person at a dinner when he would get phase 2 of the Epstein files. Yep, she's the one that asked Pam Bondi about Epstein files. Bondi said there were no more files. As they say, the rest is history. Well, obviously, Bondi was not telling the truth. There's millions of more files that some came out and more still hiding. So Massey continues another part that he was a hoax. You know, I cannot be bullied. I'm not done. And this is why those in power are doing everything in their power to defeat me. Yep, they want to defeat him. Of course, because he's the one guy standing for people in America and the Constitution, okay? And this guy says, releasing Epstein files is great, but you do a lot of work trying to thwart good things Trump is doing. Trump may be doing a few good things. I say he is. For example, immigration. He's doing good. LGBTQI nonsense, the DEI nonsense. Yes, getting out a lot of our UN treaties. Yes, he does some good things. But Mass responds correctly. Which of these things I'm trying to thwart are you a big fan of? Unnecessary war, warrantless spying, increased spending, foreign aid, Federal Reserve, federalized education, automobile kill switch, federal daycare fraud, refugee welfare, or gun control. Very good points, Mr. Massey. Okay? And this is for real, folks. Massey points out that almost $1 million of negative ads against me from unregistered foreign lobbyists dropped in my district within hours of my Epstein file release. How do you like that as a message that you don't stand for the people? You cover up with like other congressmen for the crooks or criminals in Epstein files. Are we a sovereign country or not? My election is a litmus test. I need your help. I agree, guys. Help Thomas Massey get reelected, folks. Support him any way you can. So here it is, a super PAC that's being organized to try to defeat this good man, okay? Now, here's what's going on, sadly. Judge Pirro on Fox News, I used to watch her. I love what she has to say. But look at what's happening now. They're turning around these people once they're part of the government. Hear what she says. Look at this.
And you bring a gun into the district, you mark my words, you're going to jail. I don't care if you have a license in another district, and I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else. You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail, and hope you get the gun back. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's amazing how accountability works, when people think that if they actually get arrested, they might have to do time and they might be taken off the street. It sort of puts a little different message into people's heads.
Okay, so now the Trump administration is for taking your right to bear arms. They used to be very much for freedom, your right guaranteed to bear arms. Now they're against it. I don't care if it's Minnesota or New York or Texas or Florida. You have a right to bear arms, period, anywhere. That was not part of the problem. And look at some people online are talking about this stuff. Like Andrew Frizella. Excuse this a little colorful language, but his point is well made. Good summary he makes about the problems out here.
We have a very corrupt government. We have a bunch of thieves. We have a bunch of fucking criminals who impoverish us and steal from us and take from us every day under the threat of violence, and then we are told we were a fucking free country. What free country is held hostage by their own government to pay money so that they can fucking take it and do whatever they want and obviously enrich themselves, because that's why these people go from $126,000 a year salary to being worth $30 million in 2 years, and then in 10 years they're worth $400 million. Where do you think that comes from? We have a very corrupt government.
Yep, that's right. Where's all that come from, right? Because the corrupt dealings that they do with each other, okay? And there are people that pay them to get elected, right? So what's the solution? You keep working, you keep paying money, and they just uniparty, Democrat, Republican establishment together. They ignore you, they ignore the law, they ignore the Constitution, and they enrich themselves, and the big money donors that pay for the election of these crooked people in Congress? Well, Congressman, Marjorie Taylor Greene gave us the answer once again. Listen to what she has to say about this.
It's not me just saying this. I think the proof is over and over and over. The American people have seen it. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything that's not true. The proof is in the pudding, and it's just the reality. But you can't vote your way out of this. You can't vote your way out of it. The people are going to have to refuse to support the political industrial complex. That's the only way you can tear it down.
Yep. She said it. You can't vote your way out of this. Whether you vote Democrat or Republican, with rare exceptions, like Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky, you get the same result. She said it several times. You cannot vote your way out of this. The only way is what? Stop funding the political class, the political industrial class. These people that benefit from the money you give them voluntarily. And she's a congresswoman. She was there for many years in the swamp, couldn't change the swamp. She is not running against us. I'm getting out of Congress. Is no use. No use being a congresswoman even. So what solution she has is the right one. We at Freedom Law School and many patriots for decades been talking about it, and it's something that each of you can do very simply. I'll show you how easy it is to do so, okay? Let's go to Freedom Law School's website, freedomlawschool.org, okay? Here you can learn how to restore freedom and take 7 steps to regain your power and freedom that voting is not doing. Okay? And you'll never again have to voluntarily pay the Washington, D.C. swamp, these crooks and criminals, okay, in the Epstein files, legally and safely, and if you want, with guarantee as well, my friends, okay? So you click on the Start 7 Steps right here, the gold bar, and it gets you right here to step 1 of the 7 steps, follow the law. You'll see for yourself clearly that based on the official legal websites of the U.S. government, that no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income tax. Yes, in this 8-minute, 10-minute video, you will see that the only people that have to file income tax are anybody with any connections to Washington, D.C., citizens and residents of Washington, D.C., okay? People have own real estate in D.C., covered in the videos, and businesses in D.C., okay? Now, that's just a start of the process. Second thing you got to realize is you got to stop putting the rope around your neck and give it to the IRS to get you, because that's what they do. Every time you sign that 1040 form, religiously, like a machine, every year, sign and file that 1040 because your accountant, CPA, HR block, tax attorney tell you like a machine, do this to be safe from the IRS. It's a lie. The opposite is true. You put the rope around your neck when you sign that 1040 confession trap form, okay? See, the fact of the matter is that when you were deceived by your counter attorney to sign a 1040 income tax confession trap form, you put the IRS noose around your neck. And how did you do that? Well, when you sign and file a 1040 income tax confession trap, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. That's right. You did it. And that is how you give the IRS the power to audit you, empty your bank account, steal your crypto, steal your property, and put you in prison. With our tax return, there's no expensive deductions, credits to audit at all. Okay? Now you're thinking, oh, no, Paymon, but I do the safe thing. I don't want to go to prison because, I know if you don't file, you go to prison. It's just, I want to play safe, but I'll file anyways. No, you actually get yourself in bigger trouble by doing that. I'm going to show you. You signed that 1040 form under penalties of perjury, under oath. Yes, that's what it says on here. And he's right. You look at the 1040 you filed last year with the IRS. You tell them how much you owe on line 37 under oath. And you subject yourself to go to prison for 9 years for each 1040 signature you put out and give to the IRS every year. That's right. 9 years for one 1040 income tax form signature. Now, the other thing you got to realize is that the IRS is doing all this to you by deception and fraud. They're bluffing you. The IRS is a Wizard of Oz, along with the major media, that made them to be such a big Godzilla that they're not. Okay? And they tell you, oh, don't look behind the curtain. No, don't look there. Don't look at Freedom Law School's website. You know? Why? Because I pulled the curtain for you, and I'll show you, the American people, the Dorothys, that look, they are not this powerful thing that they make it believe that they are, because they are not. What's going on is that you've been brainwashed all your life by the IRS, the television and media, charismatic preachers, to pay your taxes. Fear, adoration of government, okay? File early. That's the reason why people pay income tax in America, okay? So you go there to step 3 and you realize IRS is deception and bluff. Then you go to step 4, okay, and you realize you don't have to pay tribute to the beast of it's really slavery. All you do is question authority. Write your congressman. We have these petitions for free at freedomlawschool.org. Yes, 3 of them for free. Okay, and the law spelled out in this petitions, and file income tax only if your congressman can show you the law that requires you to file and pay income taxes. When they can't show it to you, because not once any congressman has shown us wrong, that's when you are free. Yes, thousands upon thousands of times these free petitions have been downloaded from freedomlawschool.org. Send the congressman by certified mail, say, show me if I'm wrong. The law is quoted, attached to my petition, even highlighted for ease of reading for you. Show me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll pay my fair share of taxes. Otherwise, you stop the IRS, DOJ, and even crooked judges from misapplying this slavery on the innocent American people. This protects you from going to prison because you done it right the way you're supposed to do it. All this is for free at freedomlawschool.org for you. Please help yourself. I cannot do it for you. You must choose to do it for yourself and your family. Okay? And then the myth of the IRS is now dispelled. The reality, you see, IRS is a fireless lizard. If you stop filing those 1040 confession forms under oath, if you stop putting a rope around your neck and give it to the IRS to pull, you have the choice to stop filing those 1040 tax forms. Poor or billionaire, you're in the same position. Your tax attorney knows none of this stuff. That's in the Internal Revenue Code, the Bible of the IRS. They pretend to know this. They do this gobbledygook. But if I got it figured out, you see in our petitions, completely spelled out. So here we go. You can take courage from the fact that none of our students at Freedom Law School who came to me clean without pre-existing problems and stopped filing income tax with Freedom Law School has ever gone to prison for taxes, nor had their paycheck or bank account levied or home or business seized by the IRS. We got documented proof right there in our website for yourself to see. And now if you choose, this is a privilege, it's a choice. You don't have to do it at all. But if you choose to be like these great men, stand up for your rights, stand up for your freedoms that you're meant to have when you were born, rights given by God, here's what you can do. Just like these great men, you can join hands and stop paying your enemies in the federal government swamp. Stop paying these crooks and criminals, okay, at the IRS, and give it to yourself, your family, and fellow patriots to protect each other. And with that money now, we can now fight the crooks and criminals and get more Thomas Massis elected, support truth-telling freedom media that America badly needs more of, okay? And this is called the Restore Freedom Plan. If you do so, this privilege available to you that you can enjoy 100% guarantee. You stop filing paying income tax with Freedom Law School as long as you're a member of the Restore Freedom Plan. Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from levying your money, or Freedom Law School will reimburse you in full 100%. And you will also not go to prison. Where else can you get all this, right? It's only 30% of what you would have paid to swamp. The rest is for you to keep for you and your family and do what you want with it, like support people like Thomas Massie to represent you and your family and your freedoms, okay? It's all there. And listen, one more thing. Please love everybody you know. Tell them about Restore Freedom Plan, okay? You arm Americans, people you love, with truth, with the law, and restore freedom for American families and America as a union of 50 countries. That's step 7. It's love and spread the truth. That's how you do it, according to Congresswoman Marjorie Greene, Taylor Greene, and Freedom Law School been saying it for over 30 years. We are overdue for cleaning up this corrupt entity that the federal government has become enemy of you, your freedoms, with all these wars. I don't have to tell you know about it. So do what you can by educating yourself as you drive around town. Put our videos up at freedomlawschool.org. Listen to them as you watch the road, and you enlighten, educate, and empower yourself. You get out the Matrix. In the movie Matrix, what does Neo says after a little while? I know Kung Fu, and you will know Kung Fu of freedom. You'll be empowered with freedom, brothers and sisters. If you, as you drive around town, listen to our videos, the 7 steps to freedom from the IRS at freedomlawschool.org, and at lunch and at dinner, you play it one more time. This time you watch and verify everything you heard is the truth. With that, I give you all my love, because I cannot do it for you. I can give you my love, my knowledge, but at the end, you have to continue seeking the truth. You continue seeking the truth like you have done now by watching this video, and you will be free by going to freedomlawschool.org now.